Goodbye, villains and heroes. Unwelcome to Bizarroverse. Sorry guys, I couldn't resist. So I've been meaning to make this video for ages. Basically a video where we can make a somewhat improved version of our friend Bizarro. But there's also a whole bunch of other looks that I would like to look at. And I didn't get the chance to make videos about those. Ideally, I would make a video with each of those styles. But to try to simplify things a bit, I will make one huge video with a whole bunch of different styles. And this being also Halloween month, looking at a whole bunch of different looks, that could be a good thing. I know it would fit within the theme of Halloween. So let's get this party started with our friend Bizarro. For quite a while, this was sadly the less bad option we had to recreate our friend Bizarro. This is the only Bizarro emblem we have in the game. It's the Bizarro tank top. Eons ago, you could get it from the vault, but nowadays you have to purchase it from our friend Dr. Fate. And I guess I could use the tattered cape, but the Ultraman cape kind of fits the motif for the character a bit. But now we got a way to be able to improve the look of our character a little bit. Now we have the Fusionat chest piece that allows us to be able to upgrade the look of our Bizarro friend, at least a little bit. It's something that I had noticed when I made my big emblem video. I noticed that, holy crap, maybe we could use this to recreate our friend Bizarro. And then I saw someone in the House of Legends that pretty much recreated this look. So I thought I have to recreate this look. And here we are. Another style we could recreate with a Fusionat style is our friend Hellboy. I'm not sure why I keep the Superman doll, that doesn't matter. So basically with Hellboy, with the Fusionat style, we can get the big hand that our friend Hellboy has. Although it is the wrong hand, but within the context of DCUO, we do what we can with what we have. I gave him the Constantine emblem. Yeah, he doesn't have an emblem, but I thought it did fit with the look way too well. Although I should probably use the bigger body size. So this here is what our friend Hellboy could look like with the bigger body size. Although I'm not sure why the skin is that shiny. Oh well. And with the trench coat, sadly, we do not have a waist style, because technically we should have a waist style with a whole bunch of pouches and maybe a holster for his big gun. Or we could have the demon tail, but sadly with the trench coat, it's not really an option. So if we want to be able to get some belt with pouches for our friend Hellboy, sadly we have to remove the trench coat. It's one or the other. The same for the demonic tail, and in this case it's even worse. For the demonic tail is a waist style. So if you do use the demonic tail, you cannot have the belt with the pouches. So you're gonna have to make a few choices. And here also I kept the Scorching Aura. I couldn't resist, I love using this aura. And I thought for a demonic character like Hellboy, why not use the Scorching Aura? Another option I thought we could recreate with the Fusionat style would be Kang the Conqueror. But it doesn't work as well as I thought. Now let's tweak it a little bit. The Steelwork chest piece works a bit better. It works a bit better with that chest piece to recreate the Kang the Conqueror, but we're still using the Fusionat pants, so I guess it still kinda counts. So at first I wanted to make a video showing some of the new styles we could create with the Fusionat style, but then I decided to add more styles than that. Another style we got recently is the Vampire Cape, and it's the perfect style we needed to be able to recreate Dracula, the Marvel version of the character. I guess we could have used a Ra's al Ghul cape. Some of you noticed that the Ra's al Ghul cape is more or less the same cape, but not exactly. The Ra's al Ghul cape basically is a two-color cape, but the second color is only like on the edge of the cape. For the Vampire Cape, you can actually have a different color on the outside and on the inside of the cape. They seem to have used whatever technique they did for the void material, and they were able to apply it to a different material somehow. So once you have the Vampire Cape, it's simple enough to recreate our friend Dracula from the classic Marvel comics. All you really need is the business suit and the Vampire Cape. And of course, if you can have the Swarming Bat auras, even better. And of course, the Vampire Cape can be used to recruit our friend Spawn. It would be nice for Spawn if the cape was a bit torn, but oh well. There's other capes we could use if that is what we want. So at this point, we can create a pretty darn good version of our friend Spawn in this universe online. We have quite a few options. I guess I'm overdue for a Spawn 2021 video. This will do until I actually make that video. And of course, another character we can create using that cape is the Confessor from Astro City. Again, we had a few options to be able to recreate a nice version of the Confessor, but this cape is, I would say, a bit better than the other options we had up to this point. It's not exactly it, but it's close enough that if we were to recreate this look, everyone would know that this is the Confessor. Another video that I'm overdue for is a Sinister 6 video. This will do until I actually make that video. Basically with the new Spooky Bat material, when I saw that material, I knew that I had to try to create Kraven the Hunter. Sadly, this is as close as I was able to get. I'm missing like a... Basically, you should have like some fur around the collar, and I couldn't find a back piece to be able to recreate the look of the fur around the collar of our friend Kraven the Hunter. So until I do find such a back piece, this is about as close to Kraven the Hunter as I was able to get. Obviously, it should be a leopard spots, it should not be a little bats. But again, within the context of DC Universe Online, this is the closest material I could find. And last but not least, let's take a look at our friend, the Batman. Obviously, this is the Robert Pattinson version. We had the trailer for the latest trailer for the Batman movie in DC fandom. What is it, yesterday? And I was a bit surprised when they did put up the trailer on YouTube. It got like 2.4 million views in like 1 hour. So I think people were desperately waiting for that new trailer. So as you can see, we can create a pretty darn good version of that version of Batman in DC Universe Online. Ironically enough, you're using a whole bunch of non-Batman style. I have to admit, full disclosure, I wasn't too excited when I first heard that they were going to make a more or less Twilight version of Batman. As some of you asked what I thought of the DC fandom event, it was okay. So there was some very cringe moment. There was some very awesome moment. Probably my favorite moment was when they talked about the Black Adam movie. Holy crap! And that little preview they showed us also of Black Adam, that was awesome. For the Batman, the trailer was fine, but I have to admit, when they first announced they were making pretty much a Twilight version of Batman, I wasn't too excited about the whole thing. I'm not a big fan of the actor they chose to play Batman, and I'm not too crazy about the actress they used to play Catwoman either. I first saw her in what's her name, Zoe Kravitz. I first saw her in X-Men First Class. She was fine, but nothing special. And I saw her a couple of more times in I think in some of the Divergent movies. I think in the latest Mad Max, and probably something else I forget to mention. I never really saw her, I guess, in the lead role, so maybe that would have changed my opinion. But I'm not too crazy about the lady they chose to play Catwoman, and I'm really not crazy about Robert Pattinson that they chose to play the Batman. Although I haven't seen all that much with Robert Pattinson, although I saw The Lighthouse last weekend, a lot of people were praising that movie a lot. I didn't like it, not one bit. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. We'll wait for the movie to come out to pass judgment. So far the trailer looks pretty good. I'm just not too crazy about the actor they've chosen for the main roles. Although they've chosen Jeffrey Wright to play Commissioner Gordon. Yeah, that looks like a good choice. And somehow whenever I look at that actor, I always think of Trex Light. I remember the first time I saw Trex, at first I thought it was the guy. I'd seen Jeffrey Wright, I think, in a Michael Bay movie or something like that previously. And when I first saw Trex Light, I thought it was the same guy. I quickly realized that was mistaken. But whenever I see Jeffrey Wright, I cannot help it. I have to think about our friend Trex. They don't look that much alike, but at first glance, I really thought it was him. And another good choice they made was Colin Farrell. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to know, stop watching the video right now. But basically, Colin Farrell is playing the Penguin. So the Penguin you see in the Batman trailer, that is Colin Farrell. And somehow he ends up looking almost like Robert De Niro with all the makeup they gave him. you have to almost wonder why not hire Robert De Niro instead of hiring Colin Farrell and giving him so much makeup that he ends up looking like De Niro. Why not hire De Niro to begin with? But with the makeup and everything, you cannot tell that it's Colin Farrell under the penguin makeup.
Clearly go better over here.
So depending on how you feel about that, it's either a good or bad thing. So I really got a kick of seeing Colin Farrell as the penguin. So I'm curious to see what the movie will look like. Although when I hear the director talking about how we're going to see where the Batmobile comes from, and we never saw that before, and I the whole time I was watching the interview, and I was thinking, did he ever watch any previous Batman movies? Because we saw where the Batmobile came from. Like in Batman Begin, they go out of their ways to show us where the Batmobile came from. We had quite a few scenes just around the Batmobile itself. The same for the gadgets. We saw Bruce Wayne and Alfred pretty much build all the Batman gadgets together. So I could not help. They were trying to hype as if it was the first time we would see young Bruce Wayne, and it's the first time we'll see how they made the Batmobile, and it's the first time how we'll see how he crafted his gadgets. That wasn't true at all. I'm not sure why we keep on seeing in interviews actors or directors or people behind the scene who say things that are obviously not true. So sometimes you have to wonder if they even know the material they're working on, or there seems to be this strategy these days of saying things that are not even close to being true to try to hype a movie. So I guess we'll have to wait and see for the Batman. So the trailer was fine. I'm just not crazy about the choice of actors they made for some of the roles. So there we go, a quick video showing a whole bunch of costumes that I've been meaning to make videos about, and somehow just never was able to get around to making those videos. There was so many videos that I had to make not too long ago. The Halloween videos, the videos about the House of Legends, and even now I still have a whole bunch of videos that I should make probably about the Allies, and still a whole bunch of new stuff that we got with the House of Legends. So in order to be able to cover those costumes, I didn't have the time really to make one video for each costume. So here we are, guys, a short video with a whole bunch of costumes and even some of my thoughts about the Batman.